Right, okay, so let me just type in hello here. I'm going to look at the Xetra Bank data set. So I'm basically going to be looking at, if I go there, yeah, this data set here, and it's long. It's like 2,000 lines long. Admittedly, there's a lot of like hints in there now, so it's got longer than it was previously. So if I go that page up, there's wherever I've written hints, they're quite like lengthy, these comment hints, so it's added a bit. But you've got 3 types of questions, but really actually there's only 2 types of questions. So you know, I can scroll all the way to the top. The types of questions are, if I can maybe open up a Google Docs Xetra Notes, I wonder if I put it in there. Right, so I wonder if I've got any extra comments in there. Okay, there's only one bit with Xetra Notes, but there's only 2 types of questions. One, there's true or false. 2, there is a single choice. And 3, there is multiple choice. Right, we actually told that in the exam notes somewhere, wherever I've got the exam notes. I wonder if I've got the exam notes in here. No, I don't have them in here, but actually I do have them in the Git repo. But anyway, just tell you that in the exam notes. When I say they're in the Git repo, they're actually, if I go up, scroll, I'll get rid of all of that lib stuff and all of that. Close out all the images, and here PDF, so it'll be in this folder there, like it tells you the structure of the exam. But in any case, there's 2 types of questions, there's true or false, or 3 types, true or false, and then there's single choice, and then there's multiple choice, so, or multiple answers, not multiple choice, multiple answers. They've actually got the circle broke, but actually categories 1 and 2 are sort of like the same in a way, because there's only one answer. Like, so these have got radio buttons. These have also got radio buttons because there's only one choice, and these have tick boxes. That's kind of like the structure of it. So if I was to go to the exam, like, that's a true or false. These are the radio buttons. So Xetra Enlight Smart respondents receive questions, receive requests for quotes, RFQs, when their willingness to submit an offer calculated for specific icing is high. Well, I guess that's true. Boom. Yay. And here, randomly, we get in question 17. And I know the answer to this is none of the above is never the case, but if it's all of the above, it's always the case. So it can only be one of these, so I've increased my chances by 30%. When can a management board block access to the EDP in case of technical problems? I would normally have selected this, but I think this is the right answer. But anyway, you can't have, it's not this, it will never be this. So none of the above is never true for radio button questions. As a rule, access is true. We'll just hit submit, and yes, because there is an orderly exchange question somewhere that has a different answer. Let's just go back there. Or is it to protect investors? But anyway, let's just do a word search for orderly, Control F. Orderly. So it comes up 4 times. If orderly settlement is temporarily at risk, So this is a single answer question, by the way, because it's got the answer number 3. So orderly comes up there and it's not correct. I look for the next orderly. Orderly comes up here and it is not correct. Right, it's in the case of technical problems, as we've answered, because that was question 17. And so orderly is not correct there. And then we go to the next question. Let's come up just in the comment, so that's twice. And here, okay, that's just a comment as well, so it's not in there. So any question that's got orderly in it is incorrect. Oh, sorry, any statement that's got orderly in it looks like an incorrect statement. So answer number 3 doesn't have orderly in it, and so that's for question 10. And we see in question 17, so orderly can never be the answer. So I'm going to try and look for these rules basically. Anyway, because if I know it's none of the above, and if I know that the word orderly can never be correct in a data set, I've now got a 50-50 chance. So without knowing anything, I've still not got a chance. Again, in the data set we are told trader exam. I wonder if I can do open anyway here. No, okay, what? Won't do that. I can reveal in File Explorer, PDF, trader exam. Let's get rid of that there and do open with PDFX. There we go. All right. Yes, you get the answers here. Let's see if anyone has. Let's first of all get rid of that, because it's viewing a PDF. Just checking if there's been any comments. No. Scroll down. Structure of exam, click on that. It's got 50 questions. There's 150 questions in the catalogue, so that's the question bank. Last 30 minutes. There's some true or false TFs, they're called. Multiple choices and single choices. So the true or false is you get 2 points for the correct result. Multiple choices, there's 4 answers. So if you see a multiple choice, there's never one tick. So the multiple choice questions are indicated by the check boxes. But anyway, there's never one tick. It's got to be more. It'll be more than one tick. So how many? There's 18 multiple choices out of 150. Is that points or I know total? Right. So your total pointage for true or false is 8. Multiple choices. Right. So okay. I'm just trying to work out the percentages. Like that's 8 out of 50 basically, which is 16%, 36%, and this is the rest, 48% basically. You can double them all. So basically half your marks come from the single choice questions. I don't know, quarterish of your marks, or a third of your marks come from the multiple choices, and then the rest come from the true and falses. 18 out of 50. It's about 35%, isn't it? And 16%, yeah. There is an exam simulator as well, so on the link over here. So single choice and multiple choice. Okay, fine, right. So we don't need to ask about that anymore. I want to inspect this data set anyway. So let's just go back to here. And I'm going to make a new file, a Xetra exam. So close this PDF section. Something like, we'll call it Xetra stats, question bank stats, QB stats, new thingy, and new file. Question bank stats.py. And the first thing that we've got to do is import question bank as QB. You know what I'll do actually? So Control-I, import the question bank import the question bank module and determine which and write a function that counts all the there we go. So something like this, which is, I wonder, like, let's get an example of a true or false question here. Yeah, that's a true or false question. Right. So it can identify that, hopefully, because it's only got two answers. It does have it. Okay. And returns the number of trues and the number of falses. Right, let's see what it does. Okay, so we start off with a true count and a false count, fine. for questions in question bank dot questions. Do we have a question bank dot questions here? Let me just see. Yeah, okay, fine, because questions is as a string. Assuming each question has answers. Answers equals question dot get answers. Okay, if it's either true or false or true, assuming the correct answer is stored in. Assuming the correct answer is stored in the correct answer. Okay. Get correct answer. Okay. Right. Let's just do a run of that then, and then it returns that. So let's accept that, and then we'll do an if double underscore name equals. Oh, without the AI help now, that's a bit of a. I don't think I had the. Import question bank. Could not be resolved. Pylons. Wonder why that could not be resolved. Let's but anyway, if double underscore name equals main. I hate having to write this out actually, so I'm just going to put on the tick. Question. Right, I've put it on because I just want the hints. If name equals main, there we go. There we go. So let's just see what that looks like. I'll switch the hints back off now. Was that all off? Oh, that's interesting. So you can switch it all off from here. Okay. Anyway, let's just see what this does. Okay, well, let's just see if this works. Like, for some reason, it's saying that this doesn't work. Let me just hit Control Save. No, because that's not, like, could not be resolved. Pylons. But it's in the same folder. So, I'm going to hit F5 just to run it. Python debugger. Python file. Run and debug. No module named question bank. Close. I'm just going to update this. And then I'm going to like close and reopen it. Just wondering if that will do it. Never know. Let's see what happens here. In the meantime, maybe, no, I don't get it. Why does it not recognize it? From question bank. Import. Probably because of this. No, because that's... Report question bank. Right, that's a little bit annoying. You can hide completion. That's quite cool. They must have had feedback on that. But there is no question bank questions, I don't think. There's question bank questions. Actually, is not accessed, is imported but unused. Okay. For questions in QB dot question bank dot questions. There we go. Right. I wonder if that's going to be better. The weird bit is that I think that's why it said that. That's what that error message actually was. I quite like this sleep thing though. Can you close that? Yeah. Does that say close? Yeah. It's really hard to because the hover over, the hand is right over the little thing. But I think you can stop the snoozing as well. There we go. But that snooze feature is quite useful because sometimes you want it on and sometimes you don't. But anyway, let's run the code now. F5. Let's see if that's any better. Right, okay, so we get this error message. QA object has no attribute get. QA object has no attribute get, because this class has no attribute get. This QA here. So it's like looking at QA.choices really is what it's got to look at. So question got QA.choices. Right, so here I'm going to need to basically here to determine for every question if it's a multiple choice. So or true or false. So I'm going to like unsnooze this little snooze thing, try the unsnooze option, and here I'm going to do check if the question is a true or false question. Right, return if question.get type equals true false. The thing about that is in the types I do have a type somewhere. I'd have to put all the types in myself. That'd be the better way of doing it, because before when I did this, actually, like, I did like a read. So really I could put a type in for every single question. That means I'd have to go through and do all 150 questions. Because they're single answers, they're single or true falses, so I could put because you sort of like have to type check basically, or you have to be very consistent in your wording of it. So I wonder if it could be like or multiple or true false. I don't even know if that works, because it's a string, but now what is the type of this thing? Like because like in a data class, can you hint? I'm going to have to ask this question. So the default value for answer type in the provided Python data class is single. is used to indicate the union of types. So I'm assuming that if nothing's there, so if a question has nothing, right, so let's just take a question then, just checking that this is allowable. The answer type will be single. This is because a QA data class has defined the default value of the answer type field. Okay, I'm hoping that that this is the right syntax then. Automatically defines it single. I'm hoping it's done like this. That's all I can say. So I'm going to hit save. I'm going to go back to here. Because, well, anyway, this bit is incorrect. But now it'll be true or false. So I can set a true or false. Actually, if this is a list and it's always a list, that's interesting because this might have actually worked. Oh no, it doesn't know it's a list of things. Oh no, it does know it's a list because it's either that or a list. That doesn't determine a true or false thing. So if answers, because it won't have the get attribute, because here answers is a string, or if it has got a like many answers, then it's going to be a list. So it's either a string or a list. So I might not actually have to do that true or false thing. I keep that there anyway, to be fair, because I quite like that if it works. I'm going to hit Control forward. So I just want to make sure I haven't broken everything, basically. I'll just hit save there. Right. I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to go back here. See what it does for the comment. Commit. Sync. I'm just checking that it doesn't break the entirety of the Streamlit code. That's basically the thing about it is. So go to the next question. I'd have to hit refresh just to make sure the Streamlit app's updated. Right. If during the call phase of an auction no price can be determined, what information is shown? The highest bid limits without volume, with volume, the lowest bid limit with both, something like that. Okay. Seems to have not destroyed the things. So, which statements are applicable for the pre-call? Trading participants cannot enter orders. It's something like this. Oh, 3 and 4, so close. Anyway, what kind of order types are available in trading model with continuous auction with specialist? In the continuous auction, I don't think this order exists. Oh, we got a true or false one anyway. It's performed at least once a day. The hint will say at least once a day. I just sort of like memorize these things. And this question doesn't even make sense. Provided that a specialist auction is scheduled, it is performed once a day. I mean, the answer is at least once a day. Whatever, you know. Okay, exchange transactions in shares must be settled on a second perform. Must. The word must always gives you a false, I think, most of the time. No? Exchange transactions in shares must be settled on a second performance day after the trade day. T+2 settlement. Oh, I'll have to have a look at that anyway, but you know, that's on the side. But okay, here I'm going to uncomment it now. Control / for the uncommon. Right, let's go back and uncomment this. So there's no get attribute. And anyway, this isn't true / false, it's true _ false. I think we need to find it as in the question bank. If we go up. Even if we were to use this, I mean, I'll put this in anyway because the info's maybe better, but still the structure of it. I'm just going to hit here and for now pass. Right, just so that. Oh, what happened there? Already got that once. Control Z. Am I getting a diff or something? What's that? Oh, there's some more intelligence in here. Okay, fine, anyway. If question, the answer type is true or false. Okay, the answers... well, the thing about it is, it's the length of the string. So if an answer is a string, then if it's of length 1, then it's a... Now that wouldn't even determine... It's going to come from the choices to determine if it's a true or false thing. So I think it's probably safer and more complete just to assign true or false to the answer type. So if I go to the answer bank question, I'll have to go through all 150 of them. Wonder where I did put the answer type in just generally, like... Answer type equals multiple, so I have done it there. The funny thing is from this I could have actually determined that it was a multiple answers because it's actually got a list. It's the true or false ones that will be hard to determine. So if choices, can I split the list down? I mean I could, but that'd be... answer type is true or false. Well, that's easy enough. Okay, I'll just keep doing that. Answer type is single. That's quite cool. I'll be able to do all of them. Answer type is single. Answer type is single. It makes it longer, but actually it's all that makes it better. And since I don't have to do any work for this, because it sort of like knows what they are, so it guessed that was true or false. It guesses that's true or false. It knows. Single, single, done 10% of them already. Single, single, single. It even throws the comma in for you, so nice. If you put it in the right place, obviously. Single, single. So it knows the answer type's multiple there. Answer type's multiple, answer type's multiple. Answer type is single. Let's see if it gets this one. Wonder why it's not doing the hints. There we go. Okay, fine. I think it's doing this little thinking thing here. Don't know what that was doing. Ah, is it counting the completions? I wonder what percentage of things I've used up. Still not many, okay. Because you've got like some sort of allowance. I've never breached the allowance, but that switching off thing's quite good. Let me just check on... yeah, so continue then. answer type, answer type, that one's got an answer, that's got an answer, that's got an answer, that's a multiple, 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 lots of multiples actually. Single, single, oops, Control Z, single, single. It's very good at this. AI makes your life. You could never have done this even 5 years ago. I mean, I could have put in some logic, basically, that if the choices, you know, when you select the choices, if there's 4 of them, then it's either got to be, and it's only got, like, the answer is of length 1, that's going to be a single answer, and if the choices are of length 2, you know, you'd have to do that by splitting the list in the question and the choices. But I think this is just faster in a way. So single. It wouldn't work if there was hundreds of questions or thousands of questions. You know, then I'd have to deploy some cleverer logic, I guess. That's already multiple. That's already multiple. That's already multiple. It's like we're 30% of the way through. I like to put the answer type after here, after the answer. I was going to do this, by the way, in the original when I was first making it, because it's kind of like, you know, sort of like knew that would be the case. So like that, you've got an answer type in there. So it's nice how it just, the AI does it all for you. I just have to hang around for a few bits, for a few seconds. It's all like, not even a few seconds, it's quicker than a few seconds. It's almost like he's got the hang of it. The only bit I have to do is search for the little place there in the holder. It's multiple choice answer, multiple choice answer, multiple choice answer, multiple choice, multiple answers, not multiple choice, multiple answers. Multiple, this is a, oops. Answer type single. I broke my little pattern. The nice bit about it is if I do that, then like the only thing that's left is a comment hint. So like the, I was going to call it like the IntelliSense, but it's not IntelliSense. The AI is like knows that the next piece I have to do is do some sort of comment hint for it. Let's actually try one just for the, actually I won't. I'm just going to do these for now, just finish this off since we're halfway through. Like here it can only be that because the hint's already in. That's a multiple, that's a multiple. That's multiple choices, things come in bulk batches for some reason. Oh, I didn't want to do the comment hint, although we could. Answer type, true or false. Let's just tab. There we go. It's actually put a comment hint for me in as well. Designated sponsors on the Xetra are market makers who have their obligations by quoting both. I hate the wraparound bits, but anyway. So long. I should really break the line up. Just to get something like that. There we go. Let's continue where we were. That's the problem with doing things like that. Let's just get the answer types done and focus on it. That's a multiple. 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 This one's got a picture in it. Whee! Link pitch. It like knows it before I've even put the thing in. Before I've even put the space in, it's like already keen. So like it knows it's so fast. Right, we're in question 103 now of 150. So we're kind of like towards the end. Look, I mean, can you see that? So like knew that before I even got there. Like, I don't know if the stats are going to work, but I have to get the categorization right. I actually needed that hint. That was quite nice. They threw me that hint in for free. Because I know I'll get that question wrong, but after a couple of hints, maybe I'll get it right. This is a true or false. This is the power of AI. So, you know, I'm sure it'll get much better, as in the human won't even have to do the piece that I'm doing. I could have put in logic to do it, but if a new question ever came in, you know, we'd want the answer to be of that type. I won't put any comment hints in for that from now, because we're not focusing on comment hints. Multiple, 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 multiple. We're coming towards the end. Multiple, multiple. Single, 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 single. Sometimes it like takes a second longer. Other times it's like super blazingly fast. It's kind of like amazing how the AI gets to its state. Oh, that's a multiple. Like, look, it just knows, you know, from the LLM. Okay, right at the end now. Single, single, and the final question is a single. So now we've categorized all of our questions in terms of answer type. We go here, I'll have to hit S to wait, Control S. Right, I've saved, made my saves, and there's lots of changes, so let's just see what the changes are. Add answer type attribute to questions in the question bank for improved answer categorization. Look at the AI, it just knows, like, we're talking about categorization and it does it. Commit, save all commits, and sync the changes. And now that means, well, we'll go back here and we will, on there. That's what I was hoping it wouldn't do. But I can remove the this piece. This error, this app has encountered an error. The original error message is redacted. Okay. Is I think you have to do this in a different way, so you can't just give it an or. So the first piece I'll do is I'll go to the question bank, not the stats, but the actual question bank. I'll scroll right up to the top, and I will, because I think that in data classes, you can't just hint like this. You have to do like this special clever thing, but I can't be bothered to do it. You have to like give it structure, basically. So, you know, I'll hit the save. And since I've had the help from the AI anyway, I might as well just do that. Now it works again. Its default value is single if I never put something in, but since they're all completed anyway, it's almost like they'll be completed. This would be some sort of pedantic thing or something like that. So if I go back here, I'm interested to do this. Given this, that the only strings are right. So you, like, Python doesn't like, I think it's like options or something like that in the data class. Here we go. Is of type literal. Okay, so you can do that. Use literal for type checking and the actual string for default value. Okay. But that's just checking if it's a literal. A vertical is an alternative syntax for Python union. Yeah, I think it's like union. It's not even literal here because it can only be one of the three options. Like MyPy, okay, pyrite that the value of the answer type field must be exactly one of three strings listed, right? So you know what, I will take this, but then I'd have to do this. It gets more complex, right? It's of type literal, or literal is not accessed, but it will be accessed in a second, because I'll take this. Now, I don't know, like, you know, everyone provide your little comments in here if that is, you know, oh, it's like the AI's done it for me. Like, if the AI does it for you, it must be better. Well, no, that's not true, but I want it to be only one of these three types. Is that clearer? Is it actually clearer? I guess kind of like so. It must be clearer for the docs. Save. Okay, let's just see what the comment is in here. Change user type attribute in QA class to use literal for improved type safety. Yeah, so I get the type safety. Okay. Anyway, we still haven't answered the question. So now we can go back, sync changes. Hopefully that's not broken any code. So it seems to work. Exchange transactions and shares must be second, so that we know the answer to that is true. Submit. Next question. Okay. If there is no executable order book situation, a price without turnover can be generated on the basis of the bid side. The answer to that is true. I don't even know why, but it is true. Submit answer. But anyway, I'm going to hit the refresh button just to check everything's working. And it seems to be. In auctions, price time priority is valid. In auctions time, price time, or is it in auctions time price? Time price time priority is valid. So the maximum of one order, which is either limited at the auction price. I don't even know. Oh, I was going to do that. This question is too easy. Right. Anyway, let's just go back. But that was a true or falsy, actually. So let's see how many trues and falses there are. So we go to the stats. We're finally able to do the stats. So if question type equals true or false, right, hold on. I'm just going to get rid of all of this because I don't like that. Right. That's better. Right. So now let's just do this. For question in QBO.questions, if question answer equals true or false, if question answer equals 1, true count equals 1, assuming 1 represents true. So we can't do that because 1 doesn't always represent true. It did on those two. It does on that one, does on that one, does on that one. Is that the case? I guess 1 is always true. I guess it's never going to be false true. It'd always be true or false. I'm just having a look. They're always true or falses, so I think we're safe there. I'm literally browsing through all the questions. Because the last thing you want to do is give yourself bad stats. Yeah, it looks like they're always, 1 is always true. Let me also go to here. Because I can sort of like do true. Yeah, the true. I can keep browsing through the trues. There's 31 of them, so it's not too many. True. True always comes first in the true or falses. Okay. So that's allowable. Right. That's a lot easier, by the way. It's a lot more intuitive than whatever was there before. Right, so let's just run this now. It's our first stat. I could have counted them, Oh, damn. Hold on. I'm just checking because it's got 14 and 14. Which is, doesn't, I don't know if that's right. It's almost like it's counted all the questions. I'm just going to do a full count because then they need to be 28 questions. So, true count, false count, question counter. There we go. Okay, let's return question counter as well then. And then here we will go and put that one in. And we'll add that one in. Okay. It's quite nice that you can do that. And then F5, I was going to do control return. There is 28 questions, okay. So, you can't guess. It was exactly half and half. Can't change your... Half the trues are correct and half the true falses are correct. Half the questions are true and half the questions are false. Well, that's our first stat anyway. Right, let's put this on pause. Stop streaming. And... so... right. What I want to do is if it name equals main, I want to run a main function. So def main, there we go. And then I will accept this because I just want to call the main function. It just does everything for you. There we go, because that's much cleaner. So that's the first one. So def most, I wonder if it will popular. Most popular single answer, single choice answer. Answer frequency. Okay, so we set up a dictionary for questions in question. If question dot answer. Okay. Accept, tab to accept. Right, okay. Let's see what this does. F5. most popular single choice answer is 3, chosen 23 times. There we go, so we got a step. I want to also count the number of single choice. So I know the most popular, well, there's things to do like the second most popular answer and the least third most popular answer. So if you don't know an answer, guess 3. Just try that out. Next. Would that be answer 3? Well, I know the answer to this. Which of the results incoming from the incoming buy for the incoming limit or the buy 500 at 23 is going to execute all of these and this? So it's going to do the buy 500. So it's going to do the 120, then it's going to do the 280, then it's going to do that. So submit answer. Next question. That's a multiple choice one, or a multiple answer. Which of the following prices lead to an adjustment of the reference price for the static price corridor? Price is determined in continuous trading. So close. Right, anyway. Let's just do this. What is the auction price based on following order book situation? The reference price is 181. Okay. What is the auction price? Well, 181. I think because there's a market and a limit. Correct. So let's just go back. That's easy enough to do, and then run it. So 23 out of 70 basically. So well, it's not amazing because it's a 30% chance. But it's better than 25% chance. You improve your chances. So we can't do the basic stats on their own. Yeah, you've got a marginal benefit from guessing. Like if you have to guess a 3, but you know you're going to improve your chances by what was that? Between 25 by like 7% on that section of questions. So it's a marginal gain. Anyway, we'll do more analysis on this, but I quite like it. So yeah, we used quite a bit of the AI. I didn't do very much. The AI did a lot of work. So, and the AI being our little thing here, which is Copilot. I've used 24% of my co-piloting now, so I could snooze it. Code completions. I'll switch it off anyway for now, but yeah, you can go and switch that all back on, I guess. Locally indexed, build remote index. Okay. Yeah, so we'll call that the end of the little session. Obviously, you can do the like, subscribe, follow, all of that stuff. Why has that gone like that? Yeah, and that's kind of like it. David pay me, David Bitcoin. Oh, look. You can send some Bitcoin to this address. There we go. I'll leave that as my final part. Like, subscribe, follow, all the rest, and send your Bitcoins. Send it to this address here. And that's it. The end.